Welcome to the Red Sea Women in Cinema panel. I would like to welcome to the stage Salma Abu Deif, Egyptian actor. Ramata-Toulaye Sy, Franco-Senegalese director. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. I apologize for that.
Don't worry.
Okay. We have Adhwa Fahad, Saudi Arabian actor. Aseel Omran, Saudi actor and singer. Kiara Advani, Indian actress, actor. Sarocha Chankimha, also known as Freen, from Thailand. Actor, model, singer. Thank you. So Salma, I would like to start with you, and I would like to, first of all, talk about one of the first, I think the first film that you appeared in, which was the film Sheikh Jackson, which was a very impressive debut for the director, but also for you, I think. And basically in the film you play the early love interest of the protagonist, who is an imam who's infatuated, who develops a passion for Michael Jackson. So yeah, if you could talk to us a little bit about that role.
Hello everyone, and hello Nick. Thank you so much. And Sheikh Jackson actually was my first time on the industry for the filmmaking. And it was my first time to be in front of the camera, so it was a little bit scary, but exciting at the same moment. And I was so happy to start my career with Sheikh Jackson, because it was a phenomenal experience working with the director Amr Salema, and it was an important movie because I saw like the depth of working on the trauma of the imam. Actually, it wasn't really about an imam switching to a lover of Sheikh Jackson. Everyone and everybody loved Sheikh Jackson, but it was like his relationship with his father was always a messy one, very tough one, and he fell in love with a girl. It was like a pure love in high school, and she was obsessed with Michael Jackson, not Sheikh Jackson, with Michael Jackson, and this is why he developed his love with Michael Jackson. So she was a trigger for him, and then he turned into a mosque imam, and then later on in the year when Michael Jackson passed away, his love to Michael Jackson and dance and his first passion evolved again. And when he tried to connect with his first love, with Shireen, that he actually fell in love in high school, this is when his healing journey has started with his dad. So I love this movie because always the father relationship and traumas for everyone, it actually do something to me, triggers me as an actress, as a human, because everyone has a trauma. That's it.
Yeah, that was a really, really fascinating film. And of course, now it's kind of taking a leap forward. You've been in this Ramadan TV series, which translated into English, I think can be translated as the highest viewership. And it's about a girl from an impoverished family who gets involved with TikTok. But I'd like to hear more about that.
Actually, I'm very grateful for this TV show because people saw me in different character. I changed my skin completely, and I got the chance to relive this life that I didn't experience before, and I learned so many things. And this girl actually, it's based on a true story, and it's a girl that actually all her dreams was to marry her first love. That actually he didn't know that she actually exists or anything. Until one day, her family was in a lot of debt and they were gonna kicked out of their apartment. So one day she was first, like a groom rejected her and no one wanted to marry her. So her sister made her like a stupid TikTok, and then she got famous out of nothing basically. And then she had to deal with the fame, and she didn't know anything. Like, she was a naive girl, doesn't know anything about life. She's not educated. Her family didn't give her the education, the brains, the meanings of to know what the world and what life can actually do her. So she had to deal with life. And when her family figured out that she is on TikTok in an Arab world that is closed, they kicked her out of the house. She had to run away. And then she had to meet like people that got advantage of how naive and kind she is, until she ended up working in prostitution, and then she got in jail. And this was actually a true story, and it was I learned a lot from it, because somehow we judge people based on, oh, they work on this, but they had their own journey. No one actually experienced their own life to reach this point of being in jail. Like, they had to experience so many things, tough things. People judged them, their parents not even accepting them. So I love this show so much, and I'm very grateful that I was part of it.
Well, it's been a big success, and I think probably it's also been very positive in terms of the impact that it can have in in showing viewers, especially young ones, what some of the consequences of what the toxic or the negative effects of TikTok can be. So I'm wondering whether you got some response in that sense.
The good side about it that the young generation, which is mostly the Gen Z who is like using the TikTok, has been know the side, the pros and cons of using their social media wisely, and sometimes people can use them in use how pure they are. They're not like touched by the world, and more importantly, parents in the Arab world discover that the more they are far and they put a gap between their children, they create more problems. So what I love that I saw Arab parents saying that, maybe we need to listen to our kids, even if it's against how we got raised up, or how the culture should be, because at the end of the day, culture is just an idea of people they put it, So this was the most important thing for me when I heard about parents. Thank you so much. Now we need to listen to our kids.
Absolutely, absolutely. And of course, there's also a way in which TikTok exploits women, which I think is brought to the surface by this series, and it can be a cautionary tale in a way. It can be an example of what not to fall into in the ways that obviously you make money from TikTok, but it can lead you in bad directions.
True, and the girl, her name was Shaimeh. She had choices to do in life. She had choices either to use it, at the beginning she had big choices, good choices to use it. She loved to sing. She could have used it in this way, but again, when a person doesn't know how to use their brains, and they're not really educated in, not like education in the school, but to be aware of what might put them in a bad position. So she had the choice. This is what beautiful. Everyone has a choice to use any meaning in the world, whether social media, money, fame, in a good way or a bad way.
Absolutely, absolutely. Everybody has a choice. I think that's a really good takeaway that one can have from this series. Ramata, am I pronouncing your name wrong?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me how to pronounce your name, please.
Ramata-Toulaye Sy.
Okay, all right. Ramata-Toulaye Sy.
Yeah.
All right, okay, I apologize, honestly. All right, so you made your first feature, okay, was in the Cannes competition last year, which is pretty impressive, okay? And it was Bana la Nadama. It's been described as a sort of subversive feminist romance. I don't know if that's a fitting description, but I'd like to hear more about it from you.
Yeah, Bana la Nadama is a love story. It's a love story from Senegal, but I was born and raised in France, and I did cinema school in France. I did La Femis, but I don't know why, but for my first feature, I really wanted to do a movie in Senegal. My parents came from Senegal. My dad came in Paris during the 60s, and my mom the 80s. I was raised with all my siblings in France. But I felt that I needed to go back, not go back because I'm French, so just go in Senegal and like an homage. And because I believe in African cinema, I think it's really important, to comparing the African cinema. So yeah, and I didn't want to do a cliche, stereotypical, and a naturalistic movie about migration or oppression or terrorism. And I don't say that those subjects that don't exist. It's happening everywhere in the world, but I wanted to say to the world that we need to tell more about this continent, not just the sad stuff. We need to tell love story. I love love story. I'm a romantic, so but not like naive love story. So it's for that I decided to do a tragedy, because I really love theater. I really love Racine, Shakespeare, and so I decided to do like a Romeo and Juliet, and my character Banel is like a Juliet who will become Lady Macbeth, like very evil.
Very evil.
Yeah.
And it's in the Fulani?
Yeah.
Okay. The Fulani language, which is an interesting choice, okay? You grew up in Paris, I believe. Okay. You went back to Senegal occasionally, but not that, you were rooted more in Paris. And then you wrote this before you actually spent a continuous amount of time in Senegal.
Yeah.
And when you went back to shoot it, even though you had accumulated a lot more experience in Senegal, you basically kept the same structure because you had that vision and you basically stuck to it. And I just wanted to ask you about the experience of shooting it and the choice to actually go in that particular part of Senegal to make the film.
Yeah, I think I didn't do a lot of change in my script because I don't want to tell what's happening in the world. Of course, it's a woman's story, it's about feminism, but I'm a storyteller before to be a director. I love story, I love literature, and I love create and like tell story, but story from my head, not from the reality. So yeah, it was important to me. I said that my movie is a tragedy, but it's also a tale. There is a lot of magic in my movie because I grew up with Harry Potter and Lord of the Ring. But I wanted to do maybe it's a strange mix, like a Lady Macbeth in Harry Potter in Africa. This is really weird, but I really wanted to do that, and I hope that I succeed. And the shooting took place in the Fouta. It's the region in the north of Senegal, at 8 hours from the capital, Dakar. And it was a really hard shooting, because I wanted to do a tale. So I really wanted to find a village without electricity. And with the weather, it was 50 degrees like almost every day. And all the crew and staff got sick, and I lost 10 pounds, and it was like crazy. But I think it was like a duty for me, if I can say that, for African movie. A lot of people ask me, you are French, you did La Fémis. La Fémis is a big school in France, in Paris.
Best film school
Yeah, and is it
in the world.
They all asked me why you didn't do your first movie in Paris, because obviously I know better France than Senegal. And I said, I don't think now they need me. They have a lot of great directors in France, like Justine Triet, Audiard, like a big. And I think, and there are big also director in Africa and Senegal, but I think we need to improve the African cinema. We have a history with African cinema with Semben and Djibril Mambéty Diop, a great director, and I think there is like a renaissance about African cinema this year, last year with Mati Diop, Balogi, Asmae, who are in the jury now, and I think it's great that we work a little bit and we can help them, because I'm also African, I'm also Senegalese.
Now, did you? I imagine you did, but I want to make sure that you did. Did you show the film in Senegal, and how was that experience?
A lot of people, ask me that, but they ask me that because my female character is like evil, is like Shaitan, and they all like say who, because Senegal is a Muslim country. And they're all scared that I showed my movie in Senegal, because how did they think about the movie, about this evil character? And weirdly, I really was scared too, but it's happened. It was really great. They really loved the character, and it's so funny that I think it's like white people were scared of the character more than the African people. So yeah, it went very well.
That's funny. That's really funny. No, it must have been beautiful, just to show the film where it was set and where it was shot, and also the beautiful thing that I get from the story of this film is just pursuing your vision, having a vision, sticking with it, and bringing it, to fulfillment, and then, of course, premiering the film competition in Cannes. So that must have been a beautiful journey. So, Adhwa, yeah, I'm going to you because I have this order here. So I'm sorry if I skipped around.
Don't worry. It's
okay.
fine.
So I would like to ask you, basically, there is one work of yours that really stands out for me, and it's From the Ashes, okay? And so I think it's very emblematic, very sort of representative, symbolic, whatever you want to say, of what's happening in Saudi Arabia right now with cinema and with women in cinema, frankly. So yeah, if you could just tell us, first of all, the story of the film.
Hi everyone. Okay, I will speak in Arabic. It's more comfortable to me. قصة الفيلم عن مدرسة زمان في جدة. كان فيها حريق، صار فيها حريق. البنات في المدرسة جوا محبوسين. الحارس برا هو اللي لازم يفتح الباب لما يجي وقت الطلوع من المدرسة. صار في حريق في المدرسة، انحبسوا، ما قدروا يطلعوا أبداً إلين جت المطافي والإسعاف وكل هذول طلعتهم. طبعاً صار في ضحايا. هي عبارة عن مجموعة قصص حقيقية صارت من سنين فاتت. عشان كان في بعض الموانع مثلا إنه هم يطلعوا من هذه المدرسة أو الحارس راح يجيب أكل ورجع، فعشان كذا ما قدر يفتح لهم الباب. فصار في ضحايا، صار في دراما حصلت في المدرسة، بنات توفوا، مدرسات توفوا، وهذه الأشياء.
Okay, we'll get the translation.
First of all, the story is about a girls' school in Jeddah that was set on fire, actually, and all the girls, including the pupils, students, and the teachers, they were stuck inside. Usually there are certain restrictions, or there were certain restrictions of those schools, that girls would not go out of the school unless the guard would unlock the school door. So that guy was outside during that period, and he went to grab lunch or whatever, and the fire started, and the girls were caught inside. There were so many injuries, and they stayed inside until the ambulance arrived. And actually, this is a real story that happened in Jeddah.
And yeah, I mean, I would like to ask you just how it resonated, basically, in Saudi Arabia, what the reactions were to this story, in terms of the significance of it, obviously.
Well, everyone relates. We all been to school in this period. We were girls, we were still children, so we relate to the school and what happened inside with the teachers, with the principal. They were very strict in the school that days, and كان في موانع كثير. اوكي هو هذا انا قصدي، انه المجتمع كله اغلبهم بنات وامهات ارتبطوا بالفيلم لأنه في علاقة، كانوا هم كلهم طالبات ومدرسات في وقت ما، فعشان كذا ارتبطوا بالفيلم بطريقة مرة قوية. ربطوا لما كان مثلا الحارس ما يكون موجود، الأشياء اللي تصير، الأحداث اللي تصير جوا المدرسة، عرفتي؟ فكيف مثلا كنا نتصرف مع بعض، الطالبات وهم يسولفوا، المدرسات وهم يصرفوا على المدرسات ويعلموهم وكذا، وكيف انه مثلا فعلا كان في بعض الموانع اللي تخلينا ما نطلع من المدرسة، وصار حدث مهم في هذا الأثناء اللي ما كان فيه الحارس موجود برا عشان يفتح الباب وينقذ المدرسات.
The main reaction actually was among women, mothers and young girls, because they lived those restrictions and they felt they had a bond with the story of the film, because each of them had kind of a similar story in real life, that you wouldn't go out of the school unless somebody would unlock you and take you out. And there were so many conversations among young women and girls about the story and the essence of this film.
Okay, so yeah, it really struck a nerve, and I think it really speaks to where things are in Saudi Arabia right now. Lovely. Okay. Aseel, I hope I pronounced your name right, first of all.
Perfect. Aseel.
Right.
It's easy.
Okay. So you work in two different spaces, in the music space and and as an actress. Okay, an actress in TV and film. How do you sort of juggle these two aspects of your career?
So, first of all, let me thank you, Nick, and Variety for being here, for having me today. Hello, everyone. Let me be honest with you. When I started, oh, whoa. Is that my voice? Okay, sorry. I don't know what happened to the mic. Anyway,
It's because you're a singer.
I do remember I experienced my first butterfly-like feelings, not in love, when I was watching an Egyptian play for Shirihan. She's an actress and a singer at the same time. And I remember it was magical to me. I knew back then what I want to be in the future. Unfortunately, I was too young, and back then acting wasn't really, or singing as an option for girls back then. I wanted just to enter the industry from any door. So I remember one day, a director came to me. I was 13, and he's like, "You're too cute and you talk too much. It's too obvious." He's like, "Do you think you'll be interested in hosting a TV kids show?" I'm like, "Is it live on TV?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Sure. I just want to be there, anywhere, like in front of the camera." And then 2 weeks later, I heard about a singing talent show, and the challenge is, the journey are coming to the Bahrain. And I went behind my dad, I signed, I sang, and they accepted me. I told them, "Okay, where is the show?" They're like, "In Dubai." I'm like, "Okay, great, I'm in." They're like, "But you're too young, where is your dad?" I'm like, "At home." "Does he know?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "Okay, we're so sorry. You need to talk to your dad first." So I went. Luckily, my parents are the biggest support system in my life. And I went. I took the second, actually. I didn't win, but yeah, I was the second. But deep inside, in the back of my head, I always wanted to be an actress, not a singer, or at least if I can mix both. So I had to learn a different accent to act in Kuwait. Back then, Kuwait was literally, and still actually, is one of the most important place when it comes to drama. I started acting, and then I discovered the theater. And I went into learning and doing those plays every year where I can act, sing, and dance at the same time. But yeah, acting was always in the back of my head. Regardless the music, I also wanted to do both. That's why I always dream of doing a musical movie one day.
Okay, but it seems like you've been able to navigate both aspects pretty well.
Well, to be honest, Nick, I always think acting and singing are related in a way, especially in India. I mean, you know that. So maybe one day we will be able to mix both.
Okay, lovely. We're looking forward to your next step.
It's a new movie, so hopefully.
Okay, terrific. Kiara, I think you're in a lot of big Bollywood movies that make tons of money at the box office. You have an amazing career, but there's one film that I think is particularly sort of emblematic, let's say, of female, let's call it empowerment, of a certain level of progress, let's say, that's taking place within the female realm, in India specifically, obviously, but of course it's a universal matter. And that film, and I'm going to pronounce it wrong, but I'll try, is Satyaprem Ki Katha.
Amazing.
All right. So let's talk about that. If you could just give us the basic kind of synopsis, the short synopsis.
Sure. Firstly, hello everyone, and thank you, Nick. That was very kind of you. Well, like you rightly said, Satyaprem Ki Katha is probably one of the films in my career that is closest to my heart. Because while, like Ramata said, the romance genre is something, me too, I love it. It's my most favorite genre, and I think most women tend to, gravitate towards romantic, intense films. But here was a story that was different. I was like, how are you going to tell a romantic film differently? Girl meets boy, and then what? Most of our films are like that. What is the new conflict or the new subject that we've not thrown light on? And when this script came my way, I was blown away because it was so relevant, so topical, and something that we've really suppressed and not shown light in the right sense. So Satyaprem Ki Katha is a pure love story where the girl Katha in the film has been sexually abused in the past by her own boyfriend, and it's only through her marriage to a man she doesn't know that she finally comes into her own, and all the feelings that were suppressed especially in many countries, I won't just say in India, but there's a lot of social stigma, and the way society looks at sexual abuse has for years been, repressed, not spoken about. There's so much stigma associated with the person who's gone through it. And the film shows this girl who goes into her shell after the incident, but through marriage gets a second lease of life where she comes out, she doesn't make that, she doesn't let that incident define her. And it's probably one of the most powerful stories I've been able to be a part of. And I say this because when the film released, the response that we got from so many people who've been through similar instances, just felt like their voice was heard. And it truly is a very humbling moment to be a part of something so topical and, see it in a different perspective.
And basically I think we can spoil it a little bit. Basically my understanding is that it's fascinating actually, through a marriage with a man, which is an arranged marriage, it actually turns out to be, which is sort of paradoxical in a way, it turns out to be a man who actually helps her get over the trauma that she had endured, and this is done gradually, let's say, and I think I think something like that can be really powerful. It just gives me the impression that and it's beautiful to see how the narratives are changing, basically. Okay. Freen, last but certainly not least.
Yeah.
Okay, so you also navigate different spaces, but the specific television series that I'd like to talk about with you is Gap, The Gap, because I think it also is very emblematic of something. And it's a girl romance, and it's done incredible, business, viewership, whatever you want to call it. It has attracted millions of eyeballs, and it's obviously hit a chord. So yeah, if you could talk to us about it.
เขาอยากให้น้องฟรีนพูดถึง Gap the series.
Okay. Hi, I'm Freen. I'm so excited to be here. I'm grateful. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
Okay, let's get to talk to the Gap the series. Freen เป็นนักแสดง I'm an actor.ก็รู้สึกดีใจแล้วก็เป็นเกียรติมากๆค่ะในการได้เล่น Gap the series ก็เป็นซีรีส์ที่ worldwide มากๆเพราะว่าได้ออนทั่ว channel YouTube ตอนนี้ก็มีคนดูเกือบ900 ล้านวิว
Freen sees herself as an actress and she feels an honor to be a part of this series. Globally, right now on YouTube, the viewership is 900 million.
ก็คือมันเป็นการถ่ายทอดความรักที่เรารู้สึกว่ามันเป็นความรักที่น่ารักมากๆค่ะแล้วพอได้ออนแอร์ลงไปเนี่ยแฟนคลับก็ซัพพอร์ตเยอะมากๆแล้วก็เป็นที่รู้จักของคนทั่วโลกแล้วก็มันทำให้การปรับเปลี่ยนมุมมองหรือว่าเพิ่มเติมพลังบวกในโลกโซเชียลเนี่ยค่อนข้างที่จะเยอะมากขึ้นด้วยที่ฟินได้รับจากแฟนคลับก็โซเมนี่มากมายเลยค่ะก็โอเคเอาใหม่จิวันเปิดก็ Gap the series พอได้ออนแอร์ลงไปใน YouTube ใช่ไหมคะก็รู้สึกว่าได้รับความรักแล้วก็ได้รับการซัพพอร์ตจากแฟนๆทั่วโลกเยอะมากๆค่ะ
After Gap the series has been aired on YouTube, she got a lot of love and support from fans around the world.
ถือว่าเป็นการเปลี่ยนแปลงที่ยิ่งใหญ่มากๆในประเทศไทยค่ะ
It's actually broken all the boundary in Thailand because usually the series or movies in Thailand are being seen just in Thailand alone, but for her to come here and have fans from around the world, from Brazil to Japan to Australia or even in Europe, is something that never existed in Thailand before.
ใช่แล้วก็ทำให้ซีรีส์หรือว่าหนังที่เป็นทำให้ประชาชนเนี่ยได้เปิดรับมากขึ้นแล้วก็ตอนนี้ฟิล์มเมเกอร์หรือว่าดีเรคเตอร์โปรดิวเซอร์ก็เริ่มที่จะพัฒนาหนังหรือว่าซีรีส์แนวนี้เยอะขึ้นค่ะ
There's a lot of independent filmmaker, movie director that develop this category of movie or series.
Now, would you say that this was the first time in Thailand where you had a girl-on-girl romance? Was it a big breakthrough in that respect?
ครั้งนี้เป็นครั้งแรกหรือเปล่าในประเทศไทยที่มีซีรีส์หญิงกับหญิงอันนี้เป็น
ใช่ค่ะเป็นครั้งแรก the first time in Thailand ค่ะเพราะว่าเหมือนจะมีแค่คู่รองที่แทรกแต่ว่า Gap the Series เป็นซีรีส์ที่นักแสดงนำหลักเนี่ยเป็นผู้หญิงทั้งคู่แล้วก็ถ่ายทอดเรื่องราวความรักออกมาเป็นครั้งแรกค่ะ
Yes, it is the first time. Something happened previously before, but never the two lead actresses that are female lover.
Okay, terrific. Well, I think we need to wrap this up. But it's been fascinating to see in different forms ways in which new ground is being broken. In the way women are represented and what women do. In different parts of the world, I think it's encouraging, and aside from that, it's simply fascinating, I must say. So I feel very privileged to have had the opportunity to learn more about all of you, and at this point, I can now continue and follow all of your careers, which is it's going to be very, very stimulating and fascinating for me. So thank you very much. And with this conversation, we are closing the global locations, the variety global locations panels for today. So have a great rest of the day here in Cannes. Thank you.